Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Guru Shri Moji Baba ki Jai. Magic. Before the something in I am something, you just are. Effortless existence. Just being. So I was saying that before the something, you just are. Now this something, suppose that for some time you just forgot about it. What is the central idea in the something? The central idea is the individual. And the central idea of the individual is what? The body. So for some time, if you forgot about the body, and then if for some time you forgot that you could be any object at all, if all this is just appearing, all objects are appearing, but you are not concerned about it for some time. All phenomena is also appearing and disappearing. Everything is allowed. You're not fighting anything. You're not stopping anything. You're not putting any condition about what should come and what should not come. So any event can come. Any sensation in the body can come. Pain or pleasure can come. Any thought can come. Any emotion can come. But everything is just allowed to come and go. You are not attaching to any of this. As Guruji would say, you are not logging in. You are not making the me. Now the mind will come. More thoughts will come. And if you log in, it's easy. Just log in and you will have a more meaningful experience. Actually, you won't have a more meaningful experience. You will have a more me-ful experience. Full of me. Then, what are the usual offers from the mind? What am I going to do? What are you going to do about this? Now that you've heard all this, what are you going to do about it? You heard that you don't have to pick up the me. So are you going to do that now? In the picking up the idea that I must do that now also, you're picking up the idea of your limited identity, of your limitation. Nothing needs to be done because everything is already done. Whatever needs to be done is just happening in your own light, effortlessly. And you definitely cannot do this freedom thing. You cannot do it. Okay, all doership ideas allowed to come and go. You're not logging in. Then mind says, now what do you desire? How should your experience be? Am I free now? What should that look like? So desire comes. Desire is nothing but trying to control what your experience looks like, what you should be tasting in this moment or the next moment. Just a projection. So now you've been to satsang long enough, you say, okay, this is the second D that Ananta talks about. First was doership, second is desire. So I'm just going to allow both these kind of thoughts to come and go. I'm not going to take any position, make any reference point about myself. Then what is left? Idea of duality still remains. Idea of duality can still remain. See? So now doership is gone, desire is gone. The idea of me and another, and this we find many of this. If you've been in satsang long enough, I am like this. I am free from doership and desire, but my family does not understand me. And is still putting the I in the wrong place. And remember that I'm not Advaita policing anyone. I'm not talking about the words that are being used. Because conversationally we could say these things. But what do you really mean? Is there an individual you who is no longer the doer or the desirer? And if you feel there is, then investigate that. If there is still the idea of me and another, and I am like this, but another is like that, then the third D of duality, the separation, is still being bought. As you take away these three Ds, as you give them no meaning, no importance, no value, you will realize that you are mistaking yourself to be something so limited compared to that which you really are. Your existence itself encompasses this entire universe. But you are not just your existence. this individuality, this ego, this person as we call it, relies on these three Ds. And central to all of this is the idea that I must be an object. That I must have a particular shape and size. This is unverified. Unverified, and yet it is seemingly all pervasive. Even when you're hearing all of this, you might still pick up the idea that I objectively have to now understand this. Or something has to change about the body. Something has to change about my actions. Something has to change about my feelings. Or something has to change about my thoughts. Sometimes I know all of you get a bit tired of the question, who are you? That's why I ask you, so where are you? If you have an answer for the where, that means you must consider yourself to be an object. Because all objects have a location. If you're a non-object, if you are not a thing, then can you have a location? And a big part of this fallacy is uninquired, you see. Most of us go around life thinking that I must be an object sitting in my head or behind my eyes. Because the visual perspective is like that. There is nobody here in this. Nobody is here. Okay? Nobody is here in any of this. There is nobody. Basically, I know it sounds really funny, but this is so pervasive, isn't it? So popular a notion. That's why I ask you, one of the conditions for coming to direct satsang is whether you're open to the idea that you are not an object in this world, but the world might be an object in you. Just are you open to this idea? I'm not saying that you must have the insight of this yet. This possibility is true or not? If this possibility is true, then our conversations will be very simple and easy. Otherwise, what will happen is I am speaking to you as if the universe takes birth within you. But you are still referring all of that back to somebody that is sitting inside your head or this body. And that is not going to work. So know that most of satsang is this consciousness which is beyond time and space, having a monologue with itself. It is not meant for you personally. The company of the truth is the literal meaning of satsang. Satsang, the company of the truth, cannot constantly refer to you as the false one. Where are you right now? How many of you, if you're new to satsang, you might say, I'm here, I'm here. But this here, this is just a set of sensations within you. Just check for one moment, you will see this. This body is nothing but a set of visual perceptions and a set of inner perceptions or sensations. So although what we are saying is very straightforward and simple, from the mind's perspective, it is completely radical. That is why it is different from the regular self-help type thing. If the purpose of that is to make you feel better or something like that. The object of this type of satsang is not to make you feel better. We are not idolizing our feelings at all. And I know that sometimes for some of you it can get a bit irritating because we don't idolize feelings. But we're not making any idols to that which is coming and going. There are enough temples in the world for feeling. There are enough temples in the world for thoughts. You know what I mean by temples in the world. There are enough people all over the world which are working at the feeling level. There are enough people all over the world which are working at thought level. Can there be some space in this world for that which is beyond thought and feeling? Now, for those who are very attached to idolizing feelings, then for those who are feelings, then they can use this very popular term now called, oh, but this is spiritual bypassing. Oh, this is like niti niti, is just spiritual bypassing. You're using spirituality to bypass authentic feelings. We're not doing that. All I'm asking is there something which is greater than this? Something which is beyond this? Or no? Is there really this spirit? Is there really this Atma? That is why it is spirituality. Otherwise, we would call it feelingality or something like that. Why call it spirituality? That is why all the sages have said that If we attach to that which is coming and going, then the reality of that which is unchanging, unmoving, seems to elude us. There's a big difference between bypassing and transcending. This must be understood by all of us. What is the difference? Bypassing would mean that you're just using a concept. Inside you're feeling terrible, terrible, terrible. But using the concept, oh, but I am not feeling terrible, I am awareness. You see? I'm God. God, nothing happens to God. Ananta said, you are God. How can anything happen to me? Now that would be bypassing. Just trying to use spiritual concepts to come into denial of your pain or denial of your emotion. But you are coming to the true insight about what you are, which is greater than everything which is coming and going. You're not being ostriches. The tigers are attacking and the ostrich puts its head in the sand and pretends as if nobody's attacking. We're not doing that. That would be bypassing. What we are doing is we are checking if there is an experiencer of the feeling who is an individual limited entity. Is there a me here? Am I an object? And in the discovery that you are making, you will realize that such a beautiful inclusion of everything that appears and disappears is there. Such a beautiful acceptance and openness is there. The presence actually blesses everything that comes. You're discovering that unlimited space of your existence in which all is allowed. But you will not believe the false idea that something is greater than you, that a feeling can overcome you, that a thought can overcome you. You was never there. That you is always uninvestigated, just a presumption. To bypass is to resist. At least in the way it is used in this term. Open, acceptance, allowing. Is to not resist. Is there many questions coming up? Okay, let me take the simplest one first, then Gopala and Nitya can come. Simplest one is, Father, if one feels that this tornado is happening to me, then what to do? One feels that this tornado is happening to me, then what to do? Either, if you're devotional in temperament, know that the tornado is your master's to handle, or you investigate whether there is a meaning. That is surrender or self-inquiry. The question is always this one. I feel like something is happening to me. So whatever we might feel is happening to me, we hand that over to the Sadguru. Let it be Guruji's problem. Or we investigate and ask, who is this me to which something is happening to? See, but your surrender cannot be half surrender. Yes, yes, we surrender it, but I'm just keeping one eye on it. I surrender the tornado to you. Now, 10 seconds later, you're still not feeling better. Still, why is it not going away? Then what did we surrender actually? Surrender means do with me what you want, whatever you want. It is your will. I am just a speck of dust on your feet. Walk where you might, whether it's the softest grass or the hardest rocks. Nothing is for me to do. In this beautiful surrender, then you will see that there is no difference between your presence, your being, and the Sadguru itself. What is the root of what I'm saying? What is the root of what I'm saying every day? I'm just saying that the idea I am something is a fallacy. I am is here effortlessly. You are, you exist, consciousness. Now, when you put that something there, then you seem to suffer. Now, the reasons for that could be multiple. I am something which is feeling terrible. I am something which has nasty thoughts. I am something which has a terrible relationship. I am something that has no money. Now, without this something to land on, all these problems have nowhere to go. So, that's what I was saying, that in your investigation, if you find that there is no such something, then how is that a bypass? How is that a spiritual bypass? You're actually finding it. You're not taking anybody's word for it. you're actually finding that there is no something here which is limited by any thought or any feeling or any experience. Yes, another way in which it could be spiritual bypassing is if you are saying that when anger is appearing, then don't say that anger is appearing. You say, I am God, anger cannot appear, or something like that. You're not in denial of that which is appearing.
Spiritual bypassing, some of the teachers, what they say is one, okay, anger is appearing. So, like you're saying, that we accept, okay, there is anger, and then you inquire or surrender. But some modern spiritual teachers, what they say is you embrace your anger, you dive in it, and what they're basically saying, just accept, and like ideally you should just accept and not make a thing. It's my feeling is that they say that you accept your anger, treat it like a child, express it, let it do what it wants to do, and everything. And in that is where the identity gets formed, and then it's fueled. And so a lot of new generation beings, they feel that because then they are nurturing that emotion, that's how they are not spiritually bypassing. Just saying it is spiritual bypassing.
See, now this is a very valid point, and I know some questions are waiting, but let's look at this. Now, to take a position either way, I must become close to emotion arising, or I must, I must just like, I must be like this in a certain way to every emotion that comes. See, I'm just waiting for anger to come so I can hug it next time. Like that. So, in that, there is a lot of identities. The identity of a spiritual person is so much living in that. It's living and breathing in that. God is, if consciousness is producing some anger, consciousness is also dealing with it in its own natural way. When we take a, like Rishti said, if you make a thing out of it, I'm going to take a position with respect to emotion, either a resistive position or a overtly lovey-dovey position towards it, let's say, for now. Then that is, what are we referring to ourselves as in that? So not to be in denial of it and not to be idolizing it. That's what I meant by idolizing it. So, because if you make idols to that which is coming and going, then that will become another part of our play of identity. One time in the Sangha, actually, one Sangha member got really upset with me because he was talking about something that they were feeling, and I was just in a funny mood. Actually, I didn't even say it very seriously. I was more in a fun mood, so I just said, "But it's just a feeling. No? Can't we play with it, and, dance with it, or play with it, throw it around like a football? It's just a feeling." And so they felt like I'm validating them in some way. It was not that. It is saying that in relation to your reality, whatever might be appearing, it's just a tiny appearance in the vast space of you, of your being. I know it can be a bit sticky, this topic of feelings, because once we go beyond thought, then it can feel like now at least my feelings are entitled to and have an ownership about them. But know that all feelings are also coming and going, and reality does not come and go. Many in the Sangha also like this. And we, yes, yes, I am feeling like this, so then I must be entitled to behave this way. But again, the I is uninvestigated in that. No matter what you consider as the spots on the blue cat, the reality is that the blue cat does not exist. Again, just to be completely clear about what I'm saying, you're not to fight any feeling, you're not to say that this feeling is right or wrong, you're not to make any judgment about the feeling. Everything that is arising is allowed to come and go. But we are not inventing a me because of that. Me that has a position this way or that way because something is arising. Give an example. Suppose this bowl is a feeling. It's also an arising appearance. It will not be here forever. So it is arising in your perception right now. It does not feel as intimate as a feeling. I know the sensations are not like it is a feeling, but it's a metaphor after all. So this one is a feeling. So to bypass it would mean say that no, there is no bowl appearing. There is just no bowl appearing. There, I am God, I am awareness, I am just the self. There is no bowl. But to transcend it, this bowl is there. But what is my position with regard to this? If it was green or blue or black or yellow or pink, what happens to that which is aware of it? It remains untouched. It is unconcerned by whatever the flavor of this feeling might be. And that is how everything is allowed. Whether green bowl comes or pink bowl comes or yellow bowl, everything is allowed to come and go. There is nothing to defend, nothing to fight, and no attachment to even fixing something which is come, not making a thing out of it. Saying, green bowl, this means that this is anger and I have to deal with this. And I found the perfect strategy now to deal with it, which is I must love it to death. You see, I love you, anger, I love you so much. You see, but that is not spirituality. At least not the kind of spirituality that we are talking about. Because what are you being in that? What is the mask that you're picking up in that? And the play of this world is like this. The play of this world is that there's an endless number of experiences which can come for you. If you feel like by having a particular strategy for it, you're going to change how the appearance of the world is, or the appearance of thoughts is, or the appearance of feelings are, it doesn't work. Consciousness continues to play in an unlimited way, and anything can always arise. That is why it is suggested to transcend it. To transcend it is the best way you can fix it. If you try to fix it as if you are an object in the world, you will perpetuate the wrong belief about yourself and lead to even more perpetuation of this false me. If you transcend it and see, I am that consciousness in which all of this is arising and disappearing, but I remain untouched by it. And that which witnesses even consciousness. So which object in consciousness can hurt me? Then everything becomes a joyous play. This becomes a playground of the Lord, where everything can happen. The rides might be scary or fun, but you know that you cannot be hurt. Now, am I saying that this is the only path? No. Am I saying that the direct way like this is the only way? If there is something like a way? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that what is spoken here is what is directly experienced here. And what I've experienced is that if I put on the mask of an individual entity and try to fix phenomenal things or change the experience in some way, it just so clear that the world cannot be changed in that way, at least how it is clear here. But when I saw what I really was, what I really am, and I saw that really there never has been anything to fix. That's why we call it a play. Okay, there were some questions. Gopala said,
although the bee is giving a lot of trouble, problems. Just now I transcended the me and we said I'm not an object, you're not an object. So then I became, wouldn't even say space because that's an object. I became that and I was drowning in that. I was so drunk. And then everything was a laugh. I could laugh
yeah,
at this little me which is tormented by this or that. And I had a lot of it for a couple of days, for the past couple of days. A lot of it. But when you set an object, He took me to a position, and it was he's just there's no guru, there's no God, there's nothing. He took me to the ultimate position. And I was with joy and maybe a little tears with them. There's so much joy, and I just, I was beautiful. Yeah, there's no me, there's no object, there's no identity, there's no suffering at all. And suffering can come in stupid ways, silly ways, you know. Yeah, jealousy can come, worship of the Guru, you want to be especially the Guru, close to the Guru. Something you feel, oh, I'm too close. Jealousy. All these it's so stupid. These games are so stupid. Every silly way the ego plays. When you close to the Guru, the ego plays. Yes, trying to be special to the Guru, and all rubbish comes out. Hatred comes out. You feel that is the desire for it is anger. So, whatever. So, like the knee is knocked out of the sea. So beautiful. So,
Father, we can't hear Gopalaji.
Okay, okay, I'll say a bit of what he's saying. I'm saying this is very beautiful what he's reporting. He's saying that in the looking and in the seeing that I'm not an object, he said, and we're going to investigate this together a little bit, I became that. Now, if you mean I became that to mean that I saw that I was always that.
yeah, I was always. Yeah, that's
because this became can be an idea of
yes.
you're not becoming that.
I'm not.
I know, but just using it conversationally is fine. But just to be careful with everyone, we have to say it, that it is not that you become that. Actually, it is not even that we transcend the false. Although we can use that terminology, we just see what the true position always has been. The misunderstanding is dropped. The limited notion is dropped. Basically, the idea that I am the cat is dropped. Because this cat has a lot of problems. You were saying that even in the Sangha, there can be things like, oh, this one is closer to father, I'm not that close. Jealousy can come, hatred can come, all these kind of sticky things can come even in the Sangha. But all of these are dependent on the me. Okay, so let's see what all is dependent on the me. If there was no me, can you have a grievance? Can you have pride? Pride, arrogance, specialness. Can you have guilt? Can you have guilt, regret, remorse? If there was no such thing as a me, as an individual entity, then all this that constitutes suffering is not there. If there is no me, if there's somewhere you have to get to, something you have to do, something you have to have,
You just surrender.
nothing.
You
All of these are strategies.
surrender to duality.
All of these are the strategies for the me to discover its true nature. Once you see that you are not an object, you are not a thing, then what roadmap do you need? It's just that the notion that I am the cat is so pervasive that if I don't pose as if I'm giving you a bowl of milk, you don't even rid yourself of the cat notion. unless it comes in the shape of a bowl of milk. That's why I would say, do the inquiry. You surrender. Because that is what we got used to. There literally is nothing to save. If you are no longer buying into the notion of your separation.
Because the Sadguru doesn't want surrender. He doesn't want surrender.
Yes.
Because he is not personally.
Yes. How can it be that the Sadguru has a want?
Yeah.
And surrender from you, then there is desire and separation. If the Guru wanted surrender from you, then he is both desirous and feels that he is separate. No, these are just terms that we use so that you transcend that which is false. To discover your desirelessness, to discover your true oneness, beyond oneness. But because we got so attached to our limited notion about ourselves, to the idea that I must do something, I must get something, then God's own alarm clock for itself sounds like it is giving you something to do. Surrender, no self-inquiry. That's something which burns the idea that you are something. It's a spiritual notion. The notion which is shaped like the question, who am I? Is that something which will burn every idea that you have about yourself being something? The notion that everything is my father's problem. The notion that I am at my master's feet is also that something to take away every something that you consider yourself to be. Like I was telling Anil one day that, but if you had a but, or if you had an and, then you're still continuing to add to the something. You are no thing. You're greater than all some things and nothing. That no thing you are. And in this divine play, God is playing as if God is forgotten. And in Satsang, God is reminding himself or herself. Okay, Nitya wanted to ask something.
Yes, hello, Father.
Huh?
Hello. Can you hear
Hello.
me? Oh, it's echo, no? Strong echo.
Oh, is there? Okay, I'll mute.
Okay. Actually, Father, you said already everything. Of course. And I just felt to come up because it's always, I just need to speak this stuff out. I cannot keep it with me, you know. It's just this is how surrender is going here. And actually how you started the whole topic, it's totally was my weekend, yeah. And I'm so happy, you know, that you started with that. And what I found out is actually everything is coming up now, you know, one thing after the other, everything is coming up at the moment. And what you said about bypassing and transcending, it is what I found out here. The only thing what is working here is when these intense feelings are coming up, is really to ask who's the experiencer. It's really the only thing that is working. Not who am I is not working when it is so intense. Some intense stuff is going on, but who's the experiencer? It's just such a great question, you know. It's just, wow, I love it. I truly love it. What happened here was it is, or what happens when I ask this question is just it's unspeakable. Actually, it is you know, this, you also mentioned the topic of allowing, and this is not this. It is not about allowing. You know, allowing is still something of my. I feel, you know, the mind takes it to allow something, but actually, in the question, who's the experiencer? What happens is just everything. It's just I have no words for it, and it is, you're just able to see and experience who you are again, and in this recognition of what you truly are, it's allowing, and all this stuff doesn't matter, because it is automatically, if you want to use these words, happening by itself, and you don't have to, you cannot do allowing or so. It is just in the recognition of who you are. It's just everything is happening by itself, and everything is just dropping by itself. And the meaning of the content of the stuff, what is going on, you cannot hold on to it anymore. It's just only experiencing is left without any content. And I would not say that all this, what is going on here at the moment, is not easy stuff, really not easy stuff, yeah. And but the love for the recognition is so, you know, is so it's just, I mean, I don't want this other stuff anymore, you know. I just don't want it. It's just, who wants this? I mean, it's really like that. And I just wanted to say this, allowing and transcending. Even transcending is nothing. You know, it's not. You don't. There's nothing to transcend. There's just nothing. Yeah. So, and thank you so much. So, thank you.
Take a minute or two and just explain what I mean by allowing, and how I truly mean it, versus what it can feel like it's some sort of a strategy. I'm doing the allowing. She's absolutely right that you cannot do the allowing, because that is another pretense, that is another picking up. What the allowing simply means is that, okay, so let's take this example again. Suppose the prior conditioning was that every time this green bowl comes, suppose this is a bad feeling, this is guilt, this is anger, this is lust, whatever it is, right? So this is coming, and the condition was that this is a terrible thing. It should not happen to you, or it should not come for you. I should not feel lust, for example. Right? So if this notion is there, then when it comes, then you start to take a position about it, which is saying, no, 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 go away, I don't know. So it is not allowed. Then what happens, like Nitya is suggesting, is that if you inquire, who is the experiencer? Then you feel like this feeling, this whatever is arising, doesn't have the same poison anymore. Doesn't have the same me to land on anymore. Therefore, the ability to cause guilt about it or to cause resentment or arrogance about it is not there. It's just much more spacious. Now, there comes a time where we've looked at it often now, that when anger is coming or some emotion is coming, even the inquiry is not needed. We don't have to ask every time when it is coming, so who is the experiencer? It is just clear. It's just an object passing through space in a way. You see? And it just flows. There's nothing to even do, not even to take a position of the inquirer. Yes, it is coming in. So that is what I mean by it's like an object interacting with space. Space takes no position with regard to it. There is no reference it is making about itself because an appearance is coming. That is what I mean by openness or allowing. It is not that, this is coming, now I must allow it. You see, it's not, it can sound like that. So I'm glad I'm getting this opportunity to clarify it. It is not that, it's coming. Okay, what must I do? I must just allow it, you see, like that. It's not that. It is just that it is seen that in the space of my being, all things are allowed to come and go, and I take no position with regard to them. Or basically, I'm not allowing the mind to convince me that I have a position with regard to it. I'm not believing what my thoughts are interpreting about what is coming up. That is,
Can I say something more about this question? Who's the experiencer? This question, who's the experiencer? It's just like you always said. I mean, like you always said, this question takes care of itself. Yeah? It's just like it is just. I don't even know. I cannot even do this inquiry. It is just. It is. How to make words about it? Actually,
the inquiry is like one hand grenade. You take off the pin and you throw it, and then you get out of the way. You're not doing the explosion. The question is powerful enough to explode on its own. In fact, it is our intervention that am I doing it right? Am I answering the question? What am I finding? Is this the right answer? You see, all of that is what takes us away from the inquiry. So when this question emerges as just a question, who am I? Nothing needs to be done about it. It takes care of itself. I was going to say that it is quite subtle, then I remembered I'm speaking with Nitya, so I better not say that.
this is not subtle at all. It's so beautiful.
It was plain light, like completely obvious. Yeah, earlier, Vedika had said no object consciousness, no objections, nothing abject. Don't log in, be a log of dead wood. Don't be a log of dead wood either. Don't be anything at all. I'm going to be in Chennai for 10 days, hoping to come to Bangalore for one day to be in your presence. Of course, my dear, you're most welcome. You're very welcome. Huh? No, somebody else. I'm not taking the name. It came to me privately. Don't know how to contact you or the Sangha, hence writing here. Hope to come there with your blessing. You can write to me on Facebook, or I can have someone send you my email ID and you can write. Father, here sometimes when I can't bear the beating of the surrender, but it's not for you to bear if you've surrendered. If you still hold on to the me that is surrendered, then that me is going to be more badly beaten up, or at least it feels like it gets more badly beaten up than anything else. You see? Because that surrender is just lip service so far. If you keep the me and surrender, you see, then you're just surrendering all those things which you don't want. Okay, Father, just take care of this stuff. I don't really want it anyway. But I'm holding on to the me which is so precious. Yeah, this me should not get beaten up. So if you have that kind of projection, this kind of expectation, then that is not true surrender. And sometimes, more often than not, consciousness works in this way. And even if you make the gesture of surrender, then some power comes in that. And this me gets squeezed out of you. You see, the true surrender follows even our seeming surrender. That is why that beating can happen.
Namaste, Father. This pain body is so intense that it is like the whole body has been very badly beaten up. You know, that kind of feeling comes.
Okay, so if you're speaking this from experience, can you tell me the size of this pain body in relation to your size?
It is just a sensation in me.
Is it? So if it is just a thin, like seeming layer of nothingness in the infinite space that you are, then is it truly that intense for you in reality?
Father, there is a fear actually. I fear for my tendencies in the past because I know when there is a pressure on my mind, my tendency is to shout, react badly, make all tantrums. So I'm afraid of this.
So,
I'm afraid of my tendencies actually.
so what have you actually surrendered? You make a list. Afraid tendencies are not yet my father's problem. The fear of the tendencies are not yet my father's problem. The shouting is not yet my father's problem. So, what has actually been surrendered?
Father, every day you will get 100 calls by my family.
100?
That
What?
every day you will get 100 calls. Adil says it is father's problem.
This, you see, surrender doesn't need a phone call. You have to surrender the phone call also.
Other this I cannot do. I cannot put my master in trouble for my own play.
You cannot put the master in trouble for your own play.
No, I cannot do that. I'm saying I cannot put my master to trouble for my own play. This play is not in my hands. Still, I don't have the right. I have to wash my father's feet, not make it dirty.
I'll tell you a nice story which my mother told me once. My mother goes to a spiritual path also, which is very beautiful. So there their master, he was in his house, and one Sangha member wanted to put up a painting or something on his wall. So the master said, the bed is there, stand on my bed and put the painting up. So this one just won't listen. He said, no, my feet are dirty. How can I stand on your bed? So then he ran around here, ran around there, got something, figured out. It took another 2 hours to put that painting up. The master just said, just stand on my bed and put the painting. So then the master said, so why didn't you listen to me when I said to stand on my bed and put the painting up? So he said, no, master, it is your bed. How can I stand on it? So the master said, oh, you're willing to stand on my tongue. That you're willing to not follow what I'm saying. So you're willing to stand on my tongue, but you're unwilling to stand on my bed. So much reverence is there to take care of the master. But does the master know, or do you know? The master is saying that my job is to be the garbage collector of this world. Give me all that is burdening you, because I know how to take care of it better than you can. And you say, no, I can't give you my garbage. I know better. I know it's coming from a place of reverence and beauty, I understand. And yet, the whole point of having a master is that you can give him your garbage. So don't take it back and keep giving it to him every day. Just hand everything over in this very instant. And whatever new garbage you might collect every day, that's why we have satsang every day. But don't keep taking it back or not even give it and then say, why is it not working for me? I can't really do this. But the master says something to you which you could not do. So in this way, we neither hand over nor we take full responsibility. We just stuck in the middle, you see. And it is that middle which is the most painful. I'm glad sometimes we have these open conversations, because then the trouble, the thorn comes out, you see, like this. So now I know the resistance, why it's not being completely handed over, because how can I give it to Guruji, because it's my garbage, I have to deal with it. The master says, I want everything. It includes all of this. You cannot deal with anything at all. That's why you need a master.
Shall I disclose one more thorn?
Okay. One free pass for you. Okay, one more.
Uh, Okay. This song is that my master is also a person in the world. He's got a family. Okay, he has got his own health to take care and so many other things. Okay, it is true that my master, out of the compassion, you know, um is asking me to hand over all my problems to you. And obviously, as a unlimited being, you are asking me to hand over your problem, hand over my problem to you. But then there is a thorn actually here. The thorn is, it is true that my master is unlimited, but he has got a limited presence also. So, how can my own limited problems be handed over to master? Because he too has got a limited, resources. Like if you are not feeling well, you will not have a satsang. So these kind of thoughts they come. These kind of thoughts they come because then it appears that master himself is bound by the script to be behaving as a limited one in the body. So, but the limited is not a foundation for him. It is the unlimited one who is saying, give me all your problems.
Okay,
So,
I got your point. Let me say, I got your point. So, you see, now initially there can be some confusion about the passenger in the car and the car itself. So the master's body is like the car. The master's presence, where is it? Till you don't recognize it as your own presence, it feels like it has to come to you in this car. So this car, like any other car, will have its breakdowns, will need its servicing, will need its maintenance, will have its flat tire once in a while. But this car is only a transport device needed as long as you feel like there is some distance between you and the master. And so see that the master is your own holy presence. Then there can be love and reverence for the car, for the instrument. Like my master's instrument, Guruji as we see him, is the most beautiful in my eyes. And there'll always be reverence even for my master's body, although I know that he's not just the body. But I know that his true presence is my own being. So we can love the car, we can tend to the car, we can be compassionate towards the car. But don't mistake the master for the car.
no, Father, I'm not mistaking. I never see you as a body actually. I never see you as Ananta. It is not like that.
Good.
Similarly for Guruji also, I don't see any form. I'm not attached to Ananta or Muji. I'm not hearing a satsang from Ananta or Muji.
Fine, fine. I
So
think let us stop here now before I
uh,
point you.
like when I'm in your presence, I feel the perfect pure being present. Yeah. But what the thorn is, which is slightly left here, is that I have a master inside who is formless. Always, I'm always in his lap. So when I have to surrender something which is negative in the nature, which my master can absorb, why not surrender it internally? Because this is formless. Why give it to a master in the form? All my negativity.
Now,
So this is the thorn.
okay, got it. Now, the master's form is appearing where? It's not inside you. this appearance right now, which you're,
Yes, it is inside me.
okay, and the other master
All this
also.
Satsang, all this Satsang is happening in me.
Okay, then where can you surrender it, outside or inside? Wherever you surrender it, it can never be outside. There is no outside. Whatever you choose to surrender to, even if you choose to surrender to a tree, surrender it somewhere. Everything is only inside you.
Okay,
You see,
Father, now I will not hesitate.
no matter which, whenever you feel like you are throwing the ashes in, it is all going to end up in the ocean anyway.
It is fine, Father. I was reluctant to surrender. I was I was surrendering selective things, not everything. So now I will not hesitate.
Yes, but make one big basket and throw the whole basket at one shot.
Okay, okay,
Not a grocery every day of 5 things that you are surrendering. Everything
okay.
that is phenomenal, let me give you the best way to surrender. Everything that is phenomenal is my master's problem. Yes?
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Jai. Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Jai.